Gave up 10 threes again tonight. Down 11 at half. All the meetings, all the film, all the preparation means nothing if you're not going to go out there and put it to work. Everything that's happening to us right now, we're deserving it. It just is what it is. You got to want it more than the next team if you want to get out of a slump. And right now, every team that we're playing wants it more than us at this moment.
Penny, where you go from here? Where do you
got to keep fighting. I mean, come on, man. 4 losses in a row for this team. It's glaring what it is. It's just you got to play on both sides of the ball. You got to be unselfish offensively, and you got to be together defensively. It is what it is. But it's all on me, though. I'm not blaming anything on the kid. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep scrapping him. It's very ugly right now for us because of the way that we're playing, and that's a reflection of me.
In the first half, the way over here, in the way they came out in the first half, just in terms of kind of mentally being into it, do you feel like that there was something missing there in that regard? Because it seemed like in the second half, at least at the start of it, it was there.
I really can't put my finger on it. It's like something has shifted since we've gotten into the conference. I mean, really, I never worried about these guys going into the non-conference because they had this look on their faces like they were ready to play. But I don't know if it's watching social media, if it's trying to get more shine. I can't put my finger on it because I was so shocked to see the way that we came out in the first half. We kind of forced the second half. We just said, hey, we're just going to trap and get our energy up, and it looked a lot better. And we got a 3-point lead with under a minute and something to go. And then the one thing we talked about all week was high communication, and we miscommunicate on the biggest play to tie the game at the top of the key when we didn't have to miscommunicate. Again, we're being taught the right stuff. We're not doing it. I don't know why now, though. There's got to be something in this because to lose 4 games in a row, it's not like it's never happened to me here, but with this team in this way, it just seems like when the game first starts, that it's going downhill from when the game first starts, and that's weird. That's very weird.
I mean, early in the season, you talked about this team's confidence and how at times they could almost be too confident, and now it's the polar opposite. How do you reinstill that bravado or swagger that this team was riding on for, a month and a half?
I think that's player led. I'm trying my best to go into the games, going to practice, talking about the pride that we have to have more fun playing defense, that we have to communicate what we have to do. And it just seems like a huge disconnect with this group right now. I can't put my finger on it. Like a humongous disconnect, and you can tell in our play. To me, when the game starts, it just feels like the energy isn't there to go and win the game. It's like surviving until another team gives up. And it just looks like that to me.
Hey, Penny, what do you say to the guys? I know it's going bad, so what can you say to them to stop the bleeding, to let them know there is some light at the end of the tunnel, to turn it around?
Well, get in the gym more and watch more film. Get in the gym more, watch more film, get together more on the game plan, and not wait until the last minute to really start preparing. I don't know. It's embarrassing to me because we're trying to push every button. And again, this falls on me. I just have to do a better job. I have to do a much better job. And my thing is just going to practice, trying to push the buttons to get the right group to come out on the floor and play together and play hard.
Hey, Coach. I know you got so many new guys on this team, but did you think that having to push them so much would be an issue dealing with so many guys that are, older and have so much experience elsewhere?
That could be a big thing because I've been pushing hard. Maybe the pressure is so much because we're trying to get to the NCAA tournament. And I've tried to lighten up a little bit and not be so forceful, but also demand that we do certain things. We gotta share the basketball, man. We're not sharing the basketball. We had 10 assists, 16 turnovers. Turning the ball over and not sharing the basketball. I mean, we know what to do. When we go in the game, it just turns into a one-on-one show. We don't want one-on-one. We don't. We want to move the basketball. When people start going zone, we know what to do. We know to move the basketball. It's like everybody's trying to win the game by themselves and not trusting the teammate. And at the end, when it starts to get desperate, that's when you start seeing the ball move a little bit. It has to start like that from the beginning of the game. Again, it was just amazing watching that first half, just not understanding what was going on.
Obviously, the new starting lineup didn't exactly pan out. What was the idea behind putting in Jonathan Pierre and Tomlin for JQ and Jourdain?
Yeah, just get something fresh. I mean, it was great energy all week, but when the game starts, you still got to go play. And that lineup was only out there for 5 minutes out of the 40. So it's like it doesn't matter who starts, it doesn't matter who finishes. So the best group finished the second half. And but there are no excuses. But my mindset was to get something fresh, get people that could pick up in the backcourt. They were going to have energy. They was going to try to spark other guys. And I wanted to put JQ in a role where he could come off the bench and score. And he didn't have a great game. 0 for 5 from 3, 3 for 11. So he played 32 minutes. That's around the same amount of minutes he plays every game. So at the end of the day, the group knows what to do, man. No matter who starts, you just got to go out there and play.
Penny, before this game, y'all were already on the bubble. Now, probably projections are going to show that y'all aren't even going to be in the tournament. That's what projections might show. With these guys coming here for this ultimate goal of making a run at a Final Four or a championship, whatever. How do you kind of keep them engaged and make sure you don't lose them with some of those goals slipping away now?
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to finish the season strong. You got to do that first of all, and then you got to get into the tournament, and you got to win it. That's a position we put ourselves into right now. There's nothing else that we can do. I mean, you go and you play FAU and you play at SMU and at North Texas, you probably can make some noise there if we can figure it out. But then you ultimately got to go and you got to win the tournament as well. You got to finish the season strong. Like, to keep them, I mean, the pride in me is going to be for the guys that want to play. For the guys that want to quit because they think we're not going to make it, they can quit if that happens. I just want guys to go fight, man. That's it. Let's go fight.
Do you feel like certain guys are not quitting, but
I don't think they're quitting. I just think that we haven't figured out how to play together yet. Like, I don't understand why we're not sharing the ball more and doing the things that we know to do what's right. We can't be stat chasing at this point of the season. We can't, and I'm looking at Jonathan Pierre played 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Jordan Brown played 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Ashton 5 minutes. Jalen Young 8. Carl 4. Same amount of minutes that those guys usually play. And then the big minutes, David Jones, Jaquan Walton, Naquan Tomlin, Malcolm Dandridge, Javon Quinterly, Nick Jourdain. The same people that usually play all the minutes. That group has to figure it out.
Earlier, you were talking about you want your team to have fun on defense. What exactly do you mean by that? And also, do you feel like some of the guys out there don't see defense as something that they have to do? Is it something where, let's get the points on offense and then defense will come? What does that look like?
Well, a lot of these guys weren't the defensive guys on their team, their previous teams. It's a bunch of offensive players that we're putting in position to play defense. I mean, everybody doesn't have a defensive mindset. That's why you have to do it collectively. And what I mean by fun is communicating, talking, pointing, hustling, rebounding, all the things that it takes to just be a good team. And we just haven't found that rhythm yet. We had it in non-conference, and then we lost it in conference. Go figure.
Coach, right here. Despite the result, there was a bit of toughness shown by Naquan Tomlin. It seemed like he had a cut in his eye. It seemed like it was a vessel that was scratched. Just obviously with the result, just talk about how the toughness he's shown, what it speaks to the team even in a moment like this.
Yeah, Naquan wants to win, man. This guy, I can only imagine how he's feeling. I mean, I'm not just saying that he's the only one that's trying to play hard because other guys are playing hard, but he came into a situation late and is trying to fit in, and we can't find a rhythm. We have not found a rhythm with this group since Naquan has joined. And I don't know why, because he's a great defender. I mean, he's fouled some, but he wants it. He plays hard. He can score. We haven't found a way to get him the ball. He was 5 for 7. Him and Malcolm had the highest percentages, and they should have got more shots. But it's like you got to find that guy on the offensive end, and then defensively he's doing pretty well. He rebounded tonight, led us in rebounding. And we went into the game to talk about everybody trying to get 50 rebounds as a group, as the front court. But Naquan, he played well tonight.
Based on the way things are going and how things are looking, do you think that there is like a disconnect like between you and the players? Like you're like, is there an issue like with what you're saying getting across to them?
Not at all. I'm really close to my players. I'm more than a head coach to these guys. I have relationships with these guys. I mean, these guys are still new. It's a new system. And again, we're not talking about defensive-minded guys. We're trying to help them get into a position to work with one another, and they're not really vocal. So it's causing problems. Again, it's not a disconnect with me and the players. I mean, they know exactly what we want. And, you know, they text my phone all the time to tell me to stop taking the blame for the games, but it's my job to do that. You know, I have no disconnect with my players, I promise you. It's not that. If it was, I would honestly say it like, man, I have a disconnect. We just have not figured out a way to get this done. And especially in the last 4 games, it's been really hard. Every game has been like pulling teeth from the beginning of the tip-off until the end.
And then Malcolm's reverse dunk, your reaction kind of spoke volumes.
It did, because I was like, it's just fitting. You know, you miss a reverse dunk, then you have an easy and one and miss that, and then we miss 1 or 2 free throws. That's just how the night was going. That's how this losing streak has been going. And I'm just going to focus on moving forward, man, because I believe in God and I believe in, you know, who I am, that anything is possible. I've been here before, not in this fashion. We're winning 10 in a row and then losing 4 in a row. But we'll find out a way. I feel like it's like we find one game where things need to work and then everybody get on the same page. But right now it's ugly.